Please don't use it. It's extremely rude. It sounds a little staged and dramatic. The most common replacement is simply, "Hey everyone, today we're gonna talk about one of the trickiest words in Japanese, anata." It's one of the first words you learn when studying Japanese. Most textbooks teach that you is anata. And while that's correct for studying Japanese or taking tests, people don't really use anata in everyday conversations. So today I'm gonna explain when Japanese people actually use it, when they don't, and what they say instead. Now you might be thinking, there are so many different ways to say you in Japanese. Do I have to memorize all of them? Well, there are quite a few words people use depending on their relationship with the other person. But for everyday conversations, you only need to understand a couple of basic rules. And I'm gonna break that down later in the video. And here's the best part. In many situations, you don't have to say you at all. What I mean is that Japanese relies heavily on context. If it's already obvious who you're talking to, you usually don't need to say you. In fact, there are probably more situations where you don't need to say you than situations where you do. And let me explain. Let's say you want to ask someone, "Do you have any plans tomorrow?" A natural way to say it would be, "明日何か予定ある?" Or the formal version would be, 明日は何か予定がありますか? Even though there's no word for you, everyone already knows who you're talking to. Adding あなた isn't grammatically wrong, but it just sounds unnecessary unless you need to specify who you're talking about. Here's another example. You're tall. Japanese people would naturally say, 背高いね. Or the formal version would be, 背が高いですね. So, when do you actually need to say you? Usually when it's not clear who you're talking about. Let's say you're with a group of friends and you're talking to Mika specifically. In that case, it sounds more natural to say her name first. You want to ask, "Have you ever been to New York, Mika?" A Japanese person would naturally say, "Mika はニューヨーク行ったことある?" Or more formally, ミカさんはニューヨークに行ったことはありますか? In Japanese, using someone's name often replaces the word you. I'll explain more about that later. In fact, even if it's just you and Mika, it's still natural to say her name first. Mika はニューヨーク行ったことある? Or ニューヨーク行ったことある? Either way is natural, but there is almost no difference in meaning, so most native Japanese speakers will probably use the second one. Another common situation where you need to use a word to replace you is when it's part of a noun phrase, which I guess is pretty obvious. For example, imagine you're at the hair salon. You could say, "Everyone here gives great haircuts, but Mika is my favorite." ここの美容師さんはみんな上手だけど、ミカさんのカットが一番好きです。In situations like this, you need to use the person's name because it's part of the noun phrase, ミカさんのカット. And now, let's circle back to the word あなた. There are actually several situations where you naturally hear it. For example, in songs, in advertisements, in public speeches, or when speaking to a general audience. For example, imagine someone giving a TED Talk and saying, "You're the main character of your own life." あなたの人生はあなたが主役なんです. Or you might say something like, 恵まれない子供たちを助けるためにはあなたの力が必要です. Something like that. You also hear あなた in anime and TV dramas. Another interesting use is between married couples. Traditionally, some wives, especially from older generations, call their husbands あなた. It sounds a little old-fashioned today, but you hear it occasionally in movies, TV dramas, or from older couples. So if Japanese people don't usually say あなた, what do they actually say instead? The most common replacement is simply the person's name or their title. For example, Mika, you're really good at cooking. Mika って料理上手だね. Or, Mom, where were you yesterday? お母さん、昨日どこにいたの? Grandma, have you ever been to Kyoto? おばあちゃん、京都行ったことある? Using someone's name or their relationship to you is the most natural way to replace you. The examples I just gave were all casual situations. In more formal situation, you could say, Mr. Takahashi, you work really fast. 高橋さんは仕事がすごく早いですね。And of course, sometimes you don't know the person's name. For example, if you're working at 7-Eleven and talking to a customer, you would naturally call them お客様. If you're talking to your teacher, you say 先生 or 佐藤先生. If your boss's title is 部長, you might simply call them 部長 or 佐藤部長. If you're talking to your store manager, you could say 店長. Between friends and dating situation, you usually just use their name. Finally, when talking to a group of people, people usually say 皆さん or みんな. For example, you're talking to a group of strangers. Where are you all from? 皆さんはどちらのご出身ですか? Or with friends, what do you guys want to do now? みんなは今から何したい? You can also say あなたたち, which literally means you all, but in many situations, みんな or 皆さん sounds much more natural. And you might have already noticed that people often add something after someone's name. For example, I said Mika in a casual situation, but Mika-san in a formal one. Between friends and family, people usually just use each other's name, which is called yobiste. It's also common to add chan to women's name and kun to men's names. It sounds a little cuter, but depending on the relationship, it can sometimes make it feel like there is still a little bit of distance between you. For example, let's say you go on a date with someone and you call them Sakura-chan or Yuji-kun. After a while, they might tell you 呼び捨てでいいよ. Then you start calling them 呼び捨て by just their name. That's often a sign that they feel more comfortable with you or they simply prefer being called that way. And if you're meeting your friend's friend, for example, even though it's casual situation, you might still call them with chan for women, kun for men, or san if they're older than you. That's a whole other topic. I might make another video about that. Also, some people have nicknames and some men even have nicknames that end in chan. I know that's also a little confusing, but you don't need to worry about it unless someone tells you that's their nickname. In more formal situations, people use san or sama. San is a standard polite one, and sama is very formal and it's commonly used in business or when speaking to customers. Now, there are a few other words that also mean you, and this is where things get interesting. Compared to what we just talked about, these are much less common in everyday conversation, and most of them are really informal. Some can even sound rude. Let's start with kimi. You've probably heard this word before. Kimi also means you, but it's used in specific situations. It's kind of a tricky word because it's not exactly casual, but it's not really formal either. For example, a teacher might call a student kimi, but students don't call a teacher in that way. A boss might call an employee kimi, but employee wouldn't. You will also hear it in anime, TV dramas, books, speeches, songs. Personally, I almost never use kimi in everyday conversation, but some people do depending on their age, personality, and the situation. When I hear it in a normal conversation, it sounds a little staged and dramatic depending on the context, but some people might say it's romantic. It's kind of hard to explain. It doesn't mean it's wrong. Some people use it naturally, but if you're learning Japanese, I wouldn't recommend trying to use kimi yourself unless you're very familiar with how it's used. Another word is kisama. Many of you probably know this one from anime, but in real life, please don't use it. It's extremely rude. It's usually something you hear between enemies in anime, so unless you're acting in a movie or playing a villain, you really don't need this word. Another word is teme. This is also extremely insulting, just like kisama. You mostly hear it in fights or anime. Okay, now let's talk about omae. It's also kind of rude, but unlike kisama or teme, omae is actually used in real life. But whether it sounds okay depends entirely on the situation and your relationship with the other person. If someone is angry or trying to intimidate someone, they might use omae. But among close friends, especially men, it can simply be a casual way to say you. For example, some male friends call each other omae all the time and nobody thinks twice about it. Personally though, I'm not really comfortable being called omae even casually and even by someone I'm close to. Some people are completely fine with it, others are not. It really depends on the person's boundaries. The last one is Anta. Anta has a similar feeling to omae, but it's slightly more common for women to use, and you might hear older people or parents use it too, but it can still sound rough or rude depending on the tone. Again, whether anta or omae sounds okay really depends on the relationship between the speakers. I personally almost never use omae or anta even with my family or the closest friends, and none of them call me that either. But one of my closest friends called her kids omae when she's mad at them. So it really depends. In Japanese, we often describe that as nori. There's no perfect English translation. It's kind of a mix of the vibe, the dynamic energy, and the way people joke around each other. So the kind of nori I have doesn't really involve using omae or anta. But some people have a different kind of nori where they do. There's also this expression, kansai nori. You know, Kansai is Osaka and other prefectures around. Nori is actually a really interesting Japanese concept. So if you'd like me to make a whole video about it, let me know in the comments. So to summarize, Japanese people use the other person's name to replace you or call them by their title instead. If you're talking to multiple people, minna or minasan. And once you get used to that, your Japanese will sound much more natural. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to learn real natural Japanese. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. 最後まで見ていただきありがとうございます。And see you guys in the next video. Bye!